Hey, welcome back. What's up? It's Kevin from Hats and Guitars. Today I'm over at my desk. We're doing just a little bit of work, some emails, and I'm buying hats. I'm buying some hat collections and all kinds of stuff. We've got a lot of new stuff coming in today. All of them are 7 3/8 from a person who collected 7 3/8 hats. That was his size, so if it's a Borsalino, it'll fit you. If it's a Stetson, whatever, it'll fit you. I'm going to be getting about 7, 8 hats today, and all really nice stuff, all really high-end stuff. So I'll be presenting them very soon, and I have something a little different for you guys today. I just wanted to sit here at the desk because I wanted to have just a different setting for this video, just to keep it sparse. I wanted the background to be very plain so that you could concentrate on the story. Today's going to be kind of like story time. Okay, so time travel. Let's put the clock back to 1994, about 1994, 1995. Autumn, around this time of year, 1994. I was jobless. It was the very first time in my life I was jobless. 1994. Trying to think how old I was back then. 94, 66, 76, 86, 96. Okay, so I was like 28 years old. I basically been working at my father's shop for my entire life. When I was like 11 and 12 years old, I used to go on Saturdays and Sundays and go to his shop and go in like as a, you want to go to work with Dad today? That kind of thing. And eventually I got really good at it, and I started, you know, using the cash register, and people thought I was, you know, just so cute. The little kid using the register and everything, but I was really good at it. You know, my dad showed me all the, you know, the tricks, how not to get hustled, all the, you know, there's a lot of different tricks that people do to cashiers, especially when they see a young person or somebody who looks like they don't know what time it is and stuff. They pull these hustle tricks, and they would do it to me, and I would actually, you know, bust them every time. And I was really good at it, you know. I started getting better and better. I'd work every summer as an employee. He had a shop called Steinway Sports and Records. It was a half record shop and it was a half sporting goods shop. And they used to play the records in the, you know, the loudspeaker outside for the people walking, you know, past the sidewalk, so you could look in the window and groove to the records. That was like an old 70s thing. And basically they changed their name to Steinway Sports and from Records to Steinway Sports and Recreation, and they got rid of the record stuff. He bought out the guy who had the records, and he turned into a sports store. And you know, I would sell everything from fishing poles and lures to you know, football pads and stuff, everything, you know, padding for hockey jerseys, football jerseys, Nikes. Sneakers were just getting hot around that time. The whole hip-hop thing was getting really hot. We sold Kangol hats, you know, all the different Kangols, the furry ones, the Fergoras, and the, you know, the LL Cool J shaped ones, the Grouser, they call that one. We would have the terry cloth ones in the summer and the Fergora ones in the winter. And then people started asking for Pumas and Adidas and Nikes, and we started to get them, you know, and we would just, bam, we would sell Pumas. It was like this big trend, a hip-hop sneaker trend. We rode it, and we did very well. You know, my family did really well, like in the 80s and the 90s and stuff. And he actually had 2 shops for a while. We opened up another store on the corner called Al's Outdoor Store. And that was a combination cowboy store, cowboy hats, boots, cowboy shirts, suits, collar tips, all those, you know, bolo ties, you know, all the stuff that cowboys wear. It was a combination cowboy and an Army-Navy shop. So we had all the Western stuff, but we had like jeans and, you know, like work boots. And so everything that the sporting goods shop didn't have, You know, like we had Nike gear, we had Champion, all that stuff. The other shop on the corner had, like the Western stuff, the Army, Navy stuff. And we were kind of like really doing very well. And my dad had that shop for 35 years. He actually owned the building too. And when he got a little older, he decided that you know, he didn't want to commute to work every day, because it's been 35 years he was doing it. Probably longer. I'm pretty sure it was longer, because he'd done it for other people's shops before he owned the shop too. So he decided he was going to just collect rent on his building and you know, rent it out to somebody else, and he'd probably make the same money without going to work every day. So he closed the store, rented out the shop to somebody else, and kind of semi-retired. He actually got a different line of work, and he's still doing that now. So it was 94, and I'd gotten out of college. I'd done all this stuff. I was a musician for a while, and it was basically time for me to get a job. It was like my first time, and it was maybe a day or two after, you know, I was at my jobless state, you know, just a day or two. And I was in my dad's shop, and I had called JJ's because I think it was a girlfriend at the time told me to look at my college job board. You know, they have those job boards, bulletin boards for students, and JJ's advertised there. They wanted clerk for hat shop, retail experience. So I sent them my resume. It was a fax saying, you know, I had like 9 years managing the store, ordering, you know, sales reps, this and that, you know, like I was this retail guy for about 9 years, you know, pretty much opening and closing my dad's shop. So they were like, the second I faxed them the resume, they called me back like right on the fax machine while I was still doing it and stuff. Like, did they get this? I don't know. Fax it again. You know, we weren't sure. It was one of those, you know, early technology days, you know, so we weren't even sure if the fax went through. So by the time, like that third time we faxed it through, it rang. We're like, what the heck is that? And then we realized, oh yeah, fax machines are phones. They could call you back on that line too. So I picked up the fax line, and I was like, hello? You know, are we doing this right? And it was Ida. And she was like, hello? You know, is this Kevin? Why don't you come in? Jack thinks that your resume is really interesting. Come on in. Okay, sure. I told my dad, I said, yeah, I think I might have just gotten a job. At a job interview. It sounds really interesting. It's a hat shop. Really? And at that point, I already, you know, Stetson representatives. My dad used to take me to the Western shows in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. We used to go to like the Sheraton there, where they have these trade shows, and you know, and every little hotel room had a different, like a cowboy hat maker. You know, Stetson was here, or H-Bar C, you know, shirts, or Justin boots, or there were guys who made saddlery, you know, tack and stuff. Tack and Togs magazine, you know, and then they would give you out free things when you went into their like little giveaways. The whole place smelled like leather and saddles, and everybody had like a Texas or Georgia accent, and I was like, you know, way out of my element, but I thought it was really cool, you know, that the whole hat, weird Texas hat scene, you know, that's going on in America. It was pretty cool. And I was young, and I was really impressed by all that, and I knew a lot of people from Stetson. I knew, you know, I knew Ray Curley, who was like this amazing sales rep, older fellow that, you know, everybody knew. He was the guy who gives you calls around every single holiday to, you know, remembers your mom, your dad's name, you know, remembers everything. He's just always a really cool guy. I knew all these Stetson people, and I was kind of familiar with the company, you know. And so I went to the job interview with my best friend Tom, walked me there. He bought me a Jerry Garcia tie as a, you know, kind of like a good luck gift, you know, for your job interview. And I was really, you know, like overzealous and very excited and very nervous, because I never ever like really needed a job in my entire life, you know. So I went there with, I think, a 3-piece suit. I had a 3-piece suit. It was like it was navy blue with pinstripes, and I had the hand-painted Jerry Garcia tie and a diamond tie tack that my dad lent me. My hair slicked back. I had a ponytail, so I took, water and I slicked it back really tight, into this little tight ponytail, so I looked really dressy and stuff. And then I went into the shop and went up to the catwalk, followed her into the big office, and there was Jack. Jack is sitting there at his big desk, kind of looking like the president, kind of like a, I don't know, got that Republican-y look, like that white hair, navy blue blazer, dress shirt, kind of puffy cheeks, kind of Newt Gingrich kind of look, like, red cheeks, very older Irish fellow, kind of a robust guy, very sweet guy, but he had a kind of a cold exterior that he'd put on, a business kind of game face that, I learned later on that was just his business game face. So he was really a sweet guy, but he was a little scary at first, So I went and I faced him, and Ida was super cool and trying to keep me calm, We interviewed, it went pretty well, and he said to me, look, Kevin, your hair, eventually, that ponytail is going to have to go, right? So I was like, I understand. Inside I'm thinking, no way, I'm not cutting my hair. So, figured I'd probably have to cut it though, We walked out. Ida's like, that went really good. Don't worry about it. You're not going to have to cut your hair. I'll talk to him. And I was like, oh, wow, this lady's cool, she's really cool. And she was kind of acting like my lawyer, She's like, I'll talk to him, don't worry. And then, I don't know, the next day they called me. It was right around Thanksgiving, and I got the job around Thanksgiving. Okay, I'm leading up to the whole thing now. So I'm a brand new employee at JJ Hat Center, brand new, totally green. I barely knew anything. I'm standing there like, scared of the hat brushes, scared of everything. I didn't know what to do, and I'm on the sales floor waiting for people to come in. I don't know really anything except, I know what a Stetson cowboy hats are different X's. I know what a rancher is, but not much more, I didn't know what dress hats were, fedoras or Biltmore or, So what they did is they told me to study the catalog, take the catalog home, and that'll really, So I did. I studied, and I was trying to figure out which hat I wanted to, because I knew I was going to get a hat for myself. I decided I wanted one that looked like the old movies, that looked just like those black and white, movies, like those cool gray hats the guys used to wear. So I picked out a Whippet. It was not a Stetson Whippet, though. It was a Biltmore Whippet. It was basically an open crown Biltmore Whippet, nice quality that we had done custom from Biltmore. And it was in our catalog, open crown. What we would do is we would steam a teardrop or a center crease into it. Or you could even have it open crown. We had a picture of a lady wearing like a beige one, an acorn colored one, open crown in the catalog. So I was like, okay, yeah, Whippet. It's got everything I want. It's got the big brim. It's got that binding thing around the edge. It's got the teardrop. It's got the wide ribbon. Yeah, I want one of those. I didn't really know much. All I knew is like, okay, these are those 1940s hats, and like they look pretty cool. I'm going to learn more about it, So they just plopped me right onto the sales floor. First thing, Roderick Springer was the one who sort of taught me some things. Rod was an older fellow who was, I don't know how old he was, in his 70s or something at the time, maybe early, 60s, because it was a long time ago. Rod was in the business for a very, very long time. He'd worked at a bunch of shops before, Tripler, H&R Tripler, and I think he was the hat, he was the guy who managed the whole hat division, like the hat section or something in a couple of different shops, like Brooks Brothers type of shops, So he was the one who's showing me all my stuff. He showed me how to use a hat brush. He was like, don't be scared of it, brush it, and this and that. Always go counterclockwise. He showed me how to make a teardrop. He showed me how to do this. how to get tips from people, you know, all these things. And I started to get like a little confidence, and then I started to get good at it. You know, eventually I got really good at it and a little bit more confident, and I started inventing my own little things, how to do this, you know, like the thing where you put the on the edge of the tail. I invented that one, and the thing with the hairspray, no idea how I came up with that, but I did one day. I was just like, just get hairspray, you know. I think I found out that some sizing, the stiffener was made out of acetone or something, so I figured, okay, acetone is in hairspray, let's try it, and I did, and it worked great. And then like a year later, our hat maker had cans of hairspray like in his workshop and stuff too. Using, you know, it originally was like an emergency thing, like, you know, if you wanted to use something that was a little cheaper than a can of sizing, like a can of Manhattan sizing is, you know, expensive. I don't know what it costs, 10, 12, 13 bucks, where a can of hairspray might be something like $3, and we might have to buy 6 cans of those at a time for doing people's free hats. You know, we steam hats for free all day for people, and you know, we can't go through like, you know, 12 cans of Manhattan. It just costs too much. You know, we'd just be paying hundreds of dollars for this free service. So it worked out really well. I started doing the hairspray thing and getting, you know, better at the hat shaping thing by myself, and I started getting more confident and making some sales by myself. And then I'm getting to the story right now. Okay. Then it was either very late 1994, you know, like around Christmas time. I'm guessing it was right around Christmas. It might have been after Christmas. It was either, you know, winter of 95 or, you know, winter of 94, right around that time. Just either a month or, you know, a few months, couple of months right after I just got the job. A very new guy. I'm, you know, in there. And all of a sudden, Smokey Robinson walks in. And I didn't recognize him instantly, but I recognized him when he was like right up on me, like close. And it was just sort of like, whoa, wait, who's that? Whoa, wait, oh shoot, you know? It took a couple of seconds because it was like a face I really knew, but like it just didn't really click. And he was there to buy a hat. He was like, hey, what's up, you know? And I was like, oh, hey, how you doing? And then I think one of the older fellows, it was Rod, came up behind me, just sort of like, you know, hey, Mr. Robinson, you know, how you doing? And just trying to be very cool and funny and cordial with him, because he realized, like, okay, Kevin's just here for like, you know, a month, and he's totally stumbling, you know? But I helped him, and Rod helped him too. I think I helped him first, and Smokey was super cool. You know, he told me he's looking for this, he's looking for that, and he bought a few hats from us. You know, like a stack of, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 hats. And I helped him at first, and then Rod picked up. He basically, he had a good rapport with him. You know, they're around the same age. They're both African-American guys with blue eyes, which was like a really cool thing. They were kind of joking with each other, like, yo, my brother, yeah, you're my brother, you know? And they were making jokes like that because the two of them had a very similar, like, they both had these blue eyes, Rod and Smokey. And they were just kind of like bonding in this cool way. And I'm there just the whole time, like, I'm helping Smokey Robinson. What is this? Glowing, thinking that this is going to probably happen every week now, you know, who's coming in next. But, you know, we didn't get guys like that in very often. It was something like that, you know, would happen maybe once or twice a year at best. So usually around Christmas. Christmas is the time, back in the old days, you know, when we had lots of good inventory and everything. That was the time when lots of big spenders would come in. It was also the time when celebrities would come into, like, I helped Nicolas Cage. I went to his hotel room and stuff, and, you know, I still have his phone number on my in my phone and stuff. Somebody else, I went to his hotel room, and they were real cool to me. I can't remember, but Nick Cage was super cool. Yeah, he wanted a green derby, like some superhero or something like that. He was into comic books. He showed me he had tattoos of comics on him and stuff. And he was into superheroes. I don't know who wears a green derby, maybe somebody like the Green Hornet or something like that. But he wanted something. I want a green derby like the Green Hornet, you know. And it's like, okay, I can find you one, you know, it's going to take a day or two, we can order it. And he's like, oh, I'm at this hotel room in Manhattan, I'm going to give you my number and you just let me know. And then I called him up and I was like, you know, hey, we got your hat. Oh, great, I'll get you a credit card. And then like, can you bring it over? So, and I brought it over and I figured the concierge was just going to take it, you know. So I went up to the concierge and he's like, hold on. And then Cage and I think his girlfriend or wife or something came down, grabbed the box for me and gave me a $50 bill. Bam! And I was like, yeah, I walked back to JJ's with the 50 and still had his number on my card that he wrote, and I still has his number in my phone. I haven't called him though. But so yeah, Smokey, he comes in and he's got this stack of hats on the counter there. We're ringing him up, and we used to have this habit of finding a white hat for celebrities to autograph. We had these very special hats that Biltmore put out only once. It was, I forgot what it was called. What was the collection called? There was a special collection, but they made hats out of like a special light color called eggshell. It was like either the designer series or not the Heritage collection, but the designer series. And they did it like once a year or something, where they brush off all the machines in the entire place and stop production, and they would put through these white eggshell hats. So we ordered them. You know, you could only get them once a year. And whenever a celebrity would come, we would grab a Sharpie and one of these white hats for them to sign, you know. And every once in a while they'd be like, you sure you want me to ruin this beautiful hat, you know? But yeah, it was like a habit. So I was up there and somebody said, you know, yo, Kev, go get a white hat. So I ran, got it. And I said, Mr. Robinson, do you think you would sign an autograph for us so, you know, we could keep it here at the shop? He was like, yeah, absolutely, you know, let me get it. So he signs it on one side. He's like, let me do that again, I could do better. He flips the hat around. He signed it a little bit nicer, a little more of a flourish, you know. And the hat was there for a really long time. It was just, you know, part of our collection. I've showed it off. And it was part of a moment. It was a moment in time. It was a moment in my life that was very special. And it was just, there was a lot of autograph hats there, but that one was different. That was a little special to me. It was the only one that really meant anything. You know, it's like, whatever, you could keep your Orlando Bloom or David Dinkins or whoever else. We have Spike Lee, you know, but man, I would love to have that Smokey hat, you know. And so when the hat shop was sold, we went into Ida's office and we asked her, and it's like, yo, you know, we've got a bunch of autographs, what do you want to do with them? And I think she said something like, you know, you could take one. If you want, take one. And I never really wanted to take it. It was one of those things where, like, yeah, you know, you could take it, but I don't know. I was just either too humble or something, or just didn't want to take it, you know. I didn't want to be the first one to take it, maybe, or to take one. I didn't want to open them up in front of everybody, and then there'd be this big argument, too. Who's going to get what. So what I did is I just basically left it, and I never took anything, you know, because, you know, Ida said, yeah, you could take one, and they actually belonged to her, but they just basically stayed in this closet in a big 6-high box, just stacked up in there in this kind of dusty closet. And the last day when I left JJ Hat Center, I really wanted to take that thing, you know. And it was like, you know, I had already spoken to the old owner, and she said, yeah, it's cool, you can take one. But I didn't, you know, I didn't take one. And nah, I took it. What do you think, I'm stupid? Of course I took it. I grabbed that sucker when I left. Yeah, no, I got it. I grabbed my hat and my coat and stuff, and I took this, and I just put it in a bag, and I left. So, yeah. Come on, this is Kev. You think I left that for them to have? Germans are not going to have this. So, yeah, here's the first one. Here's Smokey. He signed that one, and then I think he said he was unhappy with the way it came out. So he signed the other side. A little nicer, I think. Personally, I think this one is good too. They look pretty much the same to me. But they do look okay. Maybe he thought he signed it on the wrong side because there's no bow and feather there. So he's like, I could do better, or something like that. He turned it over here. But he did sign it twice. This is a size 7 5/8. Wow. People say I'm the life of the party, so I tell a joke or two. Here's something very interesting, folks. Did you know, oh wow, it's got this silver belly powder in there. Wow, that's cool, cool hat. I don't know, or is it just dust? Maybe, yeah, I think it's just dust, maybe. Saw a little smoke. Here's an interesting fact. You can see there's a couple of little moth bites on the top. It's like an unworn hat, but the moths did get the top a little bit. You see it? They were standing in the middle of that crease. And they're not huge bites, but there's like a bunch of mini bites almost. Did you know that moths like to eat white hats? They like white, eggshell, pearl, gray, beige, really light hats. That's what they attack usually. So if you notice, you have silver belly hats, they have lots of bites, right? Like I'm talking about, you know, vintage stuff. You have a light gray hat, it's got a few bites, but your black ones, your dark hats, they don't have anything, right? You notice that. Moths are attracted to the light hats. Because there's very little dye in there. The dyes are less harsh and it's just more pure. So what they're eating is basically, it's fur. But when you have the dark colors, it's fur with lots of dye infused into it, and they don't like to eat that stuff. So just so you know, if you have hats that are light colored, silver belly, white, beige, pearl gray, camel, anything that's light like this, those are the ones you got to be super careful with. Peppermint oil and lavender oil, 50% each one. You get yourself like a little spray bottle, a Windex bottle, rinse it out, okay, fill it with water, and then you get some lavender and peppermint. You have to buy both of them, okay? You get as best grade as you can. You can get food grade, you know, things like that. They can get expensive, the essential oils. And then you pour them into the spray bottle. I usually use about half to 3/4 of what they give me, and or sometimes just all of it. You want it to be as strong as possible. You pour both into the bottle. Okay, you mix it up, and you put a few drops of rubbing alcohol in there, isopropyl or whatever you call that stuff. Isopropyl? Just a few drops, like maybe 2-3 drops. That works as a preservative to keep it from spoiling. And shake that stuff up. Use that to clean around your closet. Just get a rag and clean the baseboards of your closet, wherever you're storing the hat. Make a little sachet out of a sponge. Roll that up in an old sock or a bandana. Moths don't like the smell. So if you get that lavender and peppermint, you mix them together, you use that, not only does it work to keep the moths away, it also smells good. Okay, so it's not like cedar or mothballs that smell really yucky. Cedar chips do not work. Cedar planks do not work. None of that stuff works. An entire cedar closet will work. Okay, we've bought tons of cedar. All that kind of stuff does not work. None of it works. Okay, the only thing that will work are the strong smells, like camphor, which smells horrible, and things like that. So cedar oil will probably work too. If you get the essential oil of cedar, it will work too, but it's not quite as pleasant as the concoction I'm talking about. This is a great moth repellent. So what you do is you just use that stuff around where your hats are, clean with it, clean the floor, clean the baseboards of the closet, just spray it in the air, whatever you have to do. That stuff smells great. People used to tell me that pork pie hatter smelled wonderful the second they walked in. They loved it. Nobody did dislike that smell. It just works really well together, and moths hate it. So just like the hairspray and the tabletop method I invented, the moth thing works like a charm. Trust me on that one. 2 or 3 people would be like, "Bam, Kevin, you solved my problem." You have to clean out your place too. So if you have moths already, you have to do like clean the entire place. That means, you know, dust, get rid of all the debris and stuff that's on the floor, under places, you know, keep the place dust free. And if you have hats that have had moth problems before, take the linings out, shake them out outside, wash them, steam them is the best thing under a very, very hot steamer. Steam your linings, beat out your hats, get all that moth stuff, insect stuff out of them, and clean up, and then get that essential oil concoction I told you about. All right, 50%, you get a bottle of peppermint, you get a bottle of lavender, you put them in some water in a spray bottle, a few drops of alcohol, bam, that's it. It works great. So, Smokey Robinson hat. This is something very special to me. It's something kind of special to me, you know. If there are people who are music fans out there and they really want to buy this, you know, we can talk. You can make an offer, I guess, but it would have to be kind of a high figure, though, you know. Okay, guys, just thought I'd share that story with you, that long story, and turn this light off. Actually, I should have kept it off the whole time, right? Look at that, it looks bad. Oh man, bad shadows. Well, you live and learn, right? You live and learn. How's this light? That's not a good light. Okay, now I'm blue. Yeah, lighting is funny. Let's try this light again. Let me see if I bounced it off the ceiling, it might have been a little better. Yeah. No, that also sucks. It's a good Halloween light. I'm going to get you. All right, guys. I love every single one of you guys. Be well.